Hello and welcome to the September ID&I video update. You're here with me, Fola. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Karim and he can give his overview and make some introductions to some new team members. Over to Karim.
Thank you, Fola. We've had a very busy and productive month in September. The biggest news is that we've added two very valuable members to our team, Mark Reynolds and Murisi Tarusenga. And I can say they really hit the ground running. They'll introduce themselves in a minute here, but just wanted to give you a quick overview of the progress. Fola, Moaz, and Andre have been working hard at the Agoras Live website, and they've got it almost feature complete interface-wise. The only next big task with Agoras Live is still a major one. It's the payment gateway, but we've already started working on that. On the TML side, like I said, Murisi and Mark hit the ground running, and Ohad assigned them each a major region of functionality in TML, so they're specialized, each one of them. Juan has finished testing the first order logic and the proof execution, and he's working on the second order logic horn formulas now. He'll attack the CROM formulas next. Umar has made huge progress on the parsing side. He added support for EBNF, which is a standard way of supporting or specifying syntax. And that's going to be supported in TML now. And we're integrating that with the rest of the TML engine. Thomas, at my behest, put a lot of effort into the TML demos side, and it's looking really good. It's looking almost like we're starting to call it an integrated development environment, an IDE for TML. So that's in a nutshell the overview of the development that's been progressing really well. I'm happy with the progress for the month of September. I'd like Mark and Murisi to introduce themselves next. Mark, could you please tell us a quick overview of our background?
Sure. My name is Mark Reynolds, and I am primarily a programming language theorist, although I've also done a significant amount of work on cryptography and security. Most of my focus has been on type theory and model theory. So I think that is hopefully going to allow me to make a contribution to the ongoing work of the team.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Murisi, can you please give us a quick intro?
Hi, I'm Murisi Tarusenga, and I specialize in programming language design, domain-specific languages, and meta-programming. And my hope is that, well, I'm excited to contribute to TML, and I hope to be contributing, especially in the areas to do with self-definition and self-evaluation and self-interpretation, as that is a requirement of the TML programming language. Thank you.
Okay, so let's kick it off as normal and let's put it over to Tomasz for his updates this month.
Hello, everyone. So in September, we have found some new bugs which were introduced with the change of the character from 2 bytes to 1 byte. So I was fixing these bugs, and I finished the Unicode support. So TML now supports UTF-8 encoded data, and programmers can use Unicode in TML programs, for example, in relation names. Yeah, and we also decided to bring back the online playground. So I've updated the JavaScript build through mscripten, and I've revived the TML editor, and it will be deployed soon. So yeah, that's all from me this month.
Thank you very much, Tomasz. It doesn't sound like something small, so when you say that's all, it's a lot. All righty, I'll put it over to Umar for his update this month.
Hi, team. Glad to share the progress. Um, as Kareem mentioned, we have achieved the feature of EBNF within the TML now. So you can specify your grammars with EBNF syntactic sugar, and that gets translated into simple regular grammar and then down to the TML rules. And second thing that I have been working on is on introducing macros to the TML. So we have the basic macro functionality implemented where the programmer can specify a macro and that gets replaced wherever it's being used. There's some other aspect to it that if it's a unary function and macro is being passed as an argument to the term, then how do we do that replacement? So so that's one of the things that I'm going to work on. And then the other part is that we are in the process of integrating the new changes that we make to the grammar specification like EBNF into the main processing engine. So that would be some of the work that we will be doing. We're currently doing and we'll continue to do that. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Umar. Okay, Moaz, are you ready?
Hi, community. For this month, I've been on leave for like most of the month because I have the emergency in like my health. So, but for the bat, I've been here. I contributed to like wrapping up the Agoras life. I think we are reaching to the point, as Kai mentioned, we are like we're soon having the Agoras life ready to be launched, and people can see and use it and the production ready code. I worked on the group session, and also I've been working also to another iteration on the home page, or let's say the front page of the of Agoras Life, which is really important, and to reach something that's very solid in it. And also I wrote a lot of like things in terms of mobile views, how we can handle the how the pages appears in the mobile when users open the app or open the website from the mobile view. So yeah, this is like a little update, but yeah, most of the month I've been on leave because of my I had an emergency.
Thanks, Moaz. Appreciate that. And again, Moaz fortunately had a bit of an emergency this month, but he's now back in action, which is fantastic. Okay, I'm going to put it over to Andre for his update this month.
Hello, everybody. This month I've been working on some server tasks like tweaking Jitsi to work the best way possible. Also, I fixed some issues with GitHub CI, so it now builds successfully. And going back to our Agoras Live, let me share my screen. Okay. So what we have here now? Now we have the ability to add a group session. For example, I'm Albert Einstein. I want to add a new group session. I choose the length of the session. This let's be about space-time. Oops, space-time. And now we will log in as a normal user. We go as Albert Einstein to Albert Einstein's profile, and we have this lecture about space-time here. And now we can join this lecture, and we will get our personal link to this lecture in time, and all the reminders regarding it. Let me just a moment switch back to Albert Einstein. No, I forgot. So, and as I said, now we have we have this lecture about space-time in our appointments. And as I said, also I did a history of previous sessions. It has details about completed sessions or ongoing sessions like this. And I've added, as I told you, ticket submission. Now you can post a ticket and in case you have some issues with the site. So that's pretty much it. Yes. So what is left? What is left on Agoras Live is to improve this front page, to polish everything. We as a team will test this group call CHR to be sure it works as planned. And of course, the major thing that is left is about all the payment system that must be working. And on the Jitsi side, everything is working. We have all basic features implemented. So I hope next month we will come to some more or less demo version. Yes, that's pretty much it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Andrea. That looks awesome. Really cool out there. Okay, so I'm going to put it over to Juan for his updates this month.
So hi everybody. This month I've been focusing on the second order logic support, following what the research work that OHA has been doing in the first part of the year. So basically what we are reaching right now, it is a Horn formula solving capability, still on primitive status. When addressing this kind of support or second order support, we start needing to carefully design and consider how to handle the structures involved in second order logic, say the universe representation on the variables or the constants that we are handling in order to work with the formulas. And at this status, we are dealing with very, I would say naive, but synthetic formulas that we are using them to direct the design and the development. And we are currently starting to consider more harder problems, particularly on the existential second order, existential second order domain, in order to verify and to confirm what we have been addressing so far. This is mostly what I can share right now about second order support. And we have been also doing some effort in order to review some major parts of the TML system in order to bridge or to close a gap between what is the front end and the back end of our system, looking forward for scalability and maintenance improvement, and also to allow all the new participants or contributors to the system to make the path into the work a little bit more flat. So that's in a rough way what I can share this month, and looking forward to bring better definitions for the coming month. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Juan. Okay, from my side of things, I have been working on the hiring alongside Karim. It's been really helpful. In order to find Murisi and Mark, Mark has a fantastic background. We'll be uploading his bio alongside Murisi's awesome background as well to the IDNI website. So we're extremely happy to bring them both on board. One thing I will say is that just in terms of the progress that we've made, is far exceeded my expectations. As it comes to TML, and I think, from a sort of a project perspective, I think that a lot of projects, and I think most business in general, is more of a hiring issue, and I couldn't be happier with the team that we have right now. Really, really, really solid progress being made right now internally and with the products. So another thing I've been working on is the token swap. We've decided to delay moving from an Omni token to an ERC20 for various reasons. But I just want to make sure that everything that we do is done in a way in which just make sure that we're able to get onto the exchanges, and it's as simple and easy to do as we want it to be. So there'll be a few minor delays there, just while we're figuring things out. We don't expect that to be very long. I've also been working on the marketing with Killian, who will be up next. I actually meant to be putting him earlier in this recording call, but yeah, I've been working with Killian on the marketing. He's working on a posting schedule for the social channels. He's been much more active on Twitter, which is fantastic. Seeing the lights go up now. Also considering creating another Facebook page, because right now the Facebook channel is a Facebook group. So we're really just kind of figuring things out there in terms of, do we want to kind of, with the page, we're going to obviously be limiting the abilities for everyone else to just be posting on the page. Kind of makes it a one-sided conversation having a page. So, we might keep it as a group, might keep it as a page, or just add both. Also working with an external company to prepare our marketing plan as well. From a design perspective as well, that's something that I've been discussing a lot. I believe I found the right people to redesign the Tau, Agoras, and IDNI project. Sorry. Right now we're just working on a design brief. This design brief is far deeper and detailed than I originally thought. It's actually a lot to consider in terms of the trajectory of these projects, and what we expect them to look like now, and then in the future as well. So we have to consider a lot of different points in time as to how we design this, go about this design. And just internally, just having a lot of discussions of how we design this ERC20 token and what features it will have, where it's going to be, and and just the different effects it will have on the token itself, such as liquidity and things like that. So that's been an internal discussion. Beyond that, I've just been doing the day-to-day admin of IDNI. So that's it. So I'm going to pass it over to Killian for his update this month. Thank you.
Sure. Hey, everybody. Thank you. So this month, I, like every month, first transcribed the monthly video update from the previous month, and you can find it in our Reddit, which is linked in the video description. I've also created an interactive version of the white paper for the community to be able to provide direct feedback inside the white paper. So yeah, you can find it in the resources list in our Discord, and I've also tweeted about it all on Twitter. So yeah, feel free to check out the interactive version of the white paper, and any questions that you have or feedback, just you can write it directly as a comment inside the document. It's a Google Docs document. I've also finished the revamp of the original Bitcoin talk post, which Ohad is looking over to confirm it, and then the Bitcoin talk thread will, because like the Bitcoin talk thread currently is very outdated, the original post, and with that revamp it will come up to date again. Then I've continued the aggregation, outreach, and follow-up of the scientific researchers, especially in the fields of KRR, logic, semantic web, and finite model theory. We have received various answers or answers from various researchers. One researcher, he pointed out two projects where he was involved with. One was the grammaticalframework.org, whose mission is to formalize the grammars of the world and make them available for computer applications. And the second project was digitalgrammars.com, consisting of multilingual semantics and abstract syntax-based systems for customers in law, healthcare, technology, and e-commerce. And he mentioned that it could be a possibility to use the grammatical framework for implementing part of the functionalities that we have in mind. One other professor that we had a positive interaction with is a German professor from the International Center for Computational Logic. And he was quite excited about the project, and he wants now to give the white paper a closer look and see in which ways he would be able to collaborate with us in the sense of turning TML into a KRR language. Then two other professors from Italy, they also mentioned an interest in having a conversation with us, and I'm about to schedule a call with them for the upcoming month. Then I've done some more reporter outreach or aggregation, mainly from USA-based reporters in the sectors of technology, software, and internet. And I've done a little bit of outreach to some influencers, but I haven't heard back from them. In terms of social media posts, I've been more active on mainly Twitter. As Fuller also said, I really would like to establish this posting schedule using Hootsuite, where you can really schedule postings in advance and be continuous with the postings. And on Quora, I've done a little bit of posts. On Reddit, we have been looking into different subreddits that could be relevant for or could relate to what we are looking to achieve with Tau. And especially the post that I did in the Singularity subreddit got quite a lot of attention. So yeah, if you would like, definitely check it out in the Singularity subreddit. I've also in the Bitcoin Talk forum posted the Chinese Bitcoin Talk thread, but it didn't get interactions yet. So yeah, that's interesting to see, but would be nice if there was more interaction. So if you're a Chinese native, maybe give it a look and post a comment if you're active in Bitcoin Talk. I've also have had some conversations, some deeper conversations with some community members. One community member strongly advocated to switch to ERC20, pointing out numerous benefits, especially the liquidity being much stronger on Ethereum, also with Uniswap and all these DeFi applications. So that's definitely something we are thinking about, but yeah, we have to still come to a final conclusion there. I've also worked on an executive summary that serves as it's like a one-pager serving to give a quick overview about our project. which then can be a great resource to be shared by community members or by ourselves, and which is aimed towards attracting cryptocurrency investors to our project. And compared to the white paper, which is like more a very scientific approach and more than 60 pages long, this one pager is like very easily shareable and gives a very fast overview. So yeah, OHAT still has to revise the executive summary, because obviously, since it's so dense in the wording, one really has to think of how to phrase it in the correct way. Yeah, also I've been looking a little bit for virtual conferences in the fields of KRR and logic, especially from February 2021 on. So I couldn't find any virtual conference yet, but if that's why also if you as a community have, or like if you see any virtual conference in that area of expertise, definitely let us know. We are interested in possibly being a part of that. And then last but not least, we established something that we call the Agoras rewards pool, which serves as like a fast ramp to reward proactive community participation. So we had previously we had community members writing blog posts, but we didn't really have a way to reward them for their proactive engagement. And now with this rewards pool, we have a monthly threshold of Agoras that we can use to reward proactive community engagement. And what we are looking for is engagement or participation in ways that either bring us community growth, like for example writing a blog post or getting us coverage in a relevant media outlet, or introducing someone big to the project. Then, for example, if you're doing work on developer tools or documentation, or if you're doing general community support, all these things could be applicable for getting some of this Agoras rewards, a monthly reward. So the metrics we are looking for here are quality and impact. So if you're writing a blog post and it's of high quality, that's good. But if it then also has a huge impact, like it gets a lot of shares and things like that, that's even better. And yeah, so with that, we also from now on always for each month we select the community member of the month who receives a reward of 100 Agoras. And in September, the winning community member is Dana Edwards. So congratulations. You published, or he published an update on Tau as a blog post on Steemit and Hive, and also was very active in the Telegram chat. So yeah, congratulations. We're happy to reward you the 100 Agoras. And that's it for me. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. And congratulations, Dana. Thank you very much, Killian. What I'll do now is I will put it over to Ohad for his update this month.
Thank you very much, and hello everyone. So I've been thinking about how to restructure the outer layers of TML above the BDD layers in order to support features that are implemented by transforming the TML program into another TML program more easily implemented, because this number of features, which is good news, that can be implemented by simply creating a new TML program, is always growing. So we will need a framework to make it more easily programmed. And mainly I was busy with studying the power set structure of set of bit strings. You can think of it like a BDD of BDDs. It has some naive structure, which is and not very efficient. So I was looking at the geometric and combinatorial properties of those in order to come up with a better data structure. And of course, this should help in solving full second order logic. And that's all for now.
All right, thank you very much, Ohad. Appreciate your update. And that's it from all of us for now. In the next couple of minutes, we'll move on to the Q&A questions. Thank you. Yeah. If interesting was defined on Tau, could interesting questions automatically be generated in the answers or knowledge discussed on Tau?
Ultimately, if interesting is indeed defined over Tau, then yes, but I don't think that we will ever be able to, at least in the foreseeable future, to formalize what is interesting over Tau. We can only say certain things that are interesting, but to capture, to define a hard definition of what is interesting and what is not, doesn't look like there is a way to do so. Also inferring from an answer what would be an interesting question is also not very reasonable, because an answer can be an answer of infinitely many questions. The answer 3 can be an answer to very interesting question as well as an answer to a very non-interesting questions. So ultimately, there is no way back from an answer to the original question.
Can I just say something? So if there is a trend like within I don't know, within like the past week of people answering a specific question to a very similar set of questions, wouldn't that be an interesting answer that Tau can suggest, for example?
On Tau, you don't have interesting answers, you have interesting questions. You can mark questions as being interesting, and Tau can automatically detect answers to questions that it knows that you are interested at because you mark them as interesting.
I mean, we're also detecting answers eventually, trying to understand what are the consensus agreements and disagreements,
yes,
right?
On Tau, we have both questions and answers.
So we can also detect what's the like, if there is within the past week, many people think in a certain way, there's probably like something behind it. There is a trend that people are, I don't know, thinking right now that climate change is bullshit, for example, because Trump said so. So maybe that's like an interesting answer that you can suggest or, I don't know, promote to people with the same agenda.
Yes, an answer cannot be interesting. You have correct and incorrect answers and interesting and uninteresting questions. But anyway, it can be that some answer is very popular, and it can be because that all people who give this answer, or most people, actually interested in the same question, but unless they tell us that they are interested in the same question, we don't really have a way to, to know what the original question was, yes.
All right, second question from A, and they say, GitHub shows us that TML can parse itself. Does this mean that the below quote from Ohad is possible now, or do we need second order logic? And I'll read the below quote from Ohad quickly. So from Ohad, this is on the 5th of October, 2019. Ohad said, when TML will be able to parse itself in reasonable time and extract the parsed forest conveniently, it'll be so easy to modify TML syntax, even to reassemble natural language. Need only to change the context-free grammar.
Yes, well, as it says there, it depends on efficiency of parsing and of using the parse tree easily, and it is not related to second order logic. The main bottleneck is that TML parser right now is very, very slow, but in the redesign of the higher level parts of TML that I mentioned before, an important aspect of it is to make TML support not only parsing but also lexing, so-called. Usually the parsing task in practice it is separated into lexing and parsing, and you have a lexer and a parser. Theoretically it is not necessary, but there are of course good reason why everyone do so. In STEM-TML, we can separate the lexing from the parsing, even use a regular expression engine for the lexer. And then the parsing after lexing should be done much more efficiently. And this should finally make TML parse fast. And in particular, as I mentioned before, and as you mentioned, to allow the transformations of TML programs be coded in TML itself and be then programmed and modified in a much more convenient way.
All right, thank you very much, Ahad. And this third question from A, this goes out to all of us, and they ask, what would the team like to see being developed first over TML? Now, for me personally, I would like to see some software which resembles something which essentially holds people to account. I would like to see it being used in a way in which, people are, fact-checked against their previous statements. I guess there's a couple of other things as well. I think that that are quite interesting to me, at least, are things just as relates back to the collaborative development abilities. For me, it's quite interesting to see, what would be developed and how quickly, this outcome would be processed and created by the different group sizes that would be involved. So I'd like to see things such as, how long it takes for certain goals to be achieved based on the group size, and the product that comes out of that as well. But those are just initial ideas. Other things as well are sort of related to the Internet of Languages as well, and just seeing how fast people end up writing the translators to add additional languages to TML. I'd like to see how that the speed of that that process being added to TML as well. But we'll leave the rest of the discussion for Telegram. I just want to add to this question because we usually record this all at once. So if things slip our mind, we don't really get a chance to go back. But because I'm editing, I can do what I like. But there's one thing that I wanted to add, which I thought about, and I thought it'd be really cool, and I forgot to add it in before, is to have some kind of community knowledge bounty. So basically this means like a pool for the community, which they would fund themselves, and then they could put out the requests for knowledge, and then they can essentially pay for the knowledge to be added to the system, which I think would be really cool. But then further, and even cooler would be if the system could generate the funds itself and then put out the requests for knowledge itself. So it's all automated. So it becomes this sort of self-funding, self-requesting sort of knowledge growth machine. So I think that's probably the coolest thing I'd like to see over the platform, but I'm not sure if that's going to come first. But yeah, that's just something to think about. Has Dragan left the team? He hasn't been present in the meeting updates for a while. Does this impact TML's development? No, it does not. The tasks that Dragan was working on, he did, you know, we got what we needed. Dragan currently now works on a task by task basis. We did end up making the decision to add Murisi and Mark to the team to work on TML. So I think just on a personal level, I think that this has gone far better than even, you know, initially intended this year for TML. So no, I don't think there's any sort of negative impact. I think that any changes that we've made internally have been extremely positive. And the next question is from Yuval, and they ask, pause the Q&A, go to a whiteboard, and please show a proper example of how things may work. Yuval, it would be great if you could be more specific in your question. At some point, we will do more sort of interactive sort of clarifications over these types of questions, but this certainly needs a lot more of a explanation as to what you are looking for here. Okay, that's it. Those are the questions for the Q&A.
Maybe just maybe just one comment. What Tomasz mentioned, that we're going to revamp the playground. We're going to repost it, so it might be a good way also, like, to see how everything is, you know, is handled. And if you all wants, you can just play with the playground.
Yeah, that's a fantastic.
To see all the changes.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Yeah, Tomasz will be releasing the revamp playground for you to see all the updates that we've implemented, and yeah, hopefully that should give you much more of a view on how things work. Okay, alrighty, thank you so much. I just want to add one last thing before we go, which is to make sure that you keep your tokens safe. There's been a lot of discussions as to how to keep your Agoras tokens safe, where to store them. So we always advise to make sure that your tokens are kept in a personal wallet off exchange. Obviously, some of you guys would have been hearing about the KuCoin hack. So, just make sure that you keep your tokens as safe as possible. Alrighty. Thank you very much. And that's it for us.